What is up, YouTube? Welcome to the channel. Today I wanted to talk you guys through a scav run that I like to do. Probably about 90% of my scav runs look like this. I think it's a little bit more underrated, a little bit more niche than some of the scav runs you might be used to, some of the scav runs you might be doing. And then you don't have to worry about it getting oversaturated from this video because it's probably going to get like 40 views. So if you're a newer player, if you're an experienced player and you want to try this out, let me know what you think. Let me know how it goes. And I think it's going to work really well. So I'm going to be doing it on just an offline raid as my PMC because my scav run is on cooldown. And we're going to be doing ground zero. And you might be wondering, why ground zero? So before you tell me that ground zero is a horrible scav run, let me walk you through my reasoning for this. I think there's a few reasons why you could pick ground zero. So if you're strictly wanting money, you're probably going to do streets. If you're looking for kits, you're probably going to be doing something more like shoreline or even factory. And I'm telling you to do ground zero, especially if you're a new player. Ground zero is one of the first maps that you're going to get quests for, so it possibly one of the first maps that you're going to learn. Streets is really intimidating to learn. There's a lot of different things you have to learn if you want to be doing a streets scav run. Additionally, streets is really difficult on your computer. So if you have a weaker machine, you struggle to get that good frame rate on streets, you might have better luck on ground zero. Another reason I would say that this particular scav run that I'm going to show you would work really well is if you're just strictly wanting to grind scav rep. This one, you can do it in just a couple minutes doing the actual run. If all you want is reputation, it will take you longer to load into your raid than it will to safely extract with and get that reputation. Okay, I've loaded up my offline raid just to show you guys the spawn points and the different routes that you can run depending on which spawn point you get. In my experience, there are two primary spawn points that you can get, and this is the first one right by the Nakatani exit. Conveniently, you always have the Nakatani extract if you do a scav run on ground zero. This makes it really easy. If you spawn in, you check your inventory, and then you see, hey, I spawned with a labs key card, I spawned with a med room key, what's it called? I spawned with an ultra med room key, you know, whatever it is that you spawn. If you saw something that you really like, you can go ahead and go straight to the extract, super safe. Unless somebody's camping it, you'll get out almost every single time. So I'd always advise check your inventory before you decide which route you're going to take. The next thing I want to warn people on, if you are playing PvE, you will start with 35 minutes on your timer. 35 minutes is the timer for a ground zero raid. So if you care if your item is found in raid or not, you're going to want to make sure that you burn 7 minutes or get the appropriate amount of XP so that it's not classified as a run through. Playing on PvP, then it's almost always going to have enough time in the raid that you can just extract immediately, and whatever you have in your inventory is going to be found in raid. Alright, so let's talk about my primary path when I'm getting this spawn. So the first thing you're going to do, go over here. There's sometimes a grenade box that'll spawn here. So search that. You might find some impact grenades, whatever it is you like to do. You've got a PMC body here. So potentially weapons, armors. You can see there's some Comtac 6s. If I, was in an offline raid, I'd be super happy with that. Milk sells for a lot. Your loot tables for PMC bodies are really expansive, so you can find a lot of different cool things doing those. Then you can run over here. Here's another PMC body here. You can loot that. Find whatever you find. And then finally, be careful with this van, because if you cross it too far, you will get shot by a sniper scav. You can stand just on this side of the body and loot that safely. Again, another PMC body. Then you're gonna run this direction. You can get a duffel bag spawn here, so be sure to check that. You have another body. And then you can check here. You say this duffel bag may or may not be there. Duffel bag spawns are really great. A lot of super exciting stuff can spawn in these, but won't necessarily. And then if you've gotten enough stuff from that, you decide to extract. It's straight down these stairs here. Super easy, couple of minutes, come in. You know, if you find some decent loot, 1 or 200,000 rubles, maybe even more if you decide to do it all on flea market individually, or if you just want to sell the fence, get that quick money and get into a different raid, you have that option. Alternately, if you're feeling that you want to be a little bit more risky, you can run out this way, and there's a second spot that you can get some potentially really good loot from this spawn point. So you have a safe here. This safe always seems bugged to me. I open it and there's never anything in there. I think you can have duffel bags and maybe even pink suitcases spawn in this area. So kind of keep an eye for it as you're walking past. And then now we have the Tarkov Tower or something like that. This building right here is great. Oops. So this building right here is great. You have this entire bottom floor. You can check. These couches can have, again, pink suitcases, duffel bags, stuff like that. So you can check those for those loot spawns. I don't think, yeah, there's nothing back there. You run upstairs. And then this is a little bit more dangerous because this is a much higher traffic area than where you spawn in. So here, you run up here. These doors spawn closed. So if you come up here and these doors are open, be on the lookout for somebody in the area. And again, this is a higher traffic area. There's a quest through that door in there. We'll talk about that in a second. So you very well could have people either trying to do this quest or camping and looking for other players who are trying to complete the quest, trying to take them out and get some PMC kills. So here, we've got file cabinet, computer, 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 computer. So a whole bunch of computers in this room. You know, you're looking for a GPU, or maybe even this white when we're having to have found in raid items to do our hideout upgrades. You can get, you know, like wires, power cords, CPU fans, or those hideout upgrades. You even got a little area back here if you need food and water. A lot can spawn in this area, and then this room's really similar to the other ones. You got a bunch of computers, you've got a couple file cabinets here, even a toolbox, computers, and then you can always check these desks too. I keep accidentally firing. You can always check these desks too, because you never know what's going to spawn on those. This is where the quest is, so be careful. You'll get people peeking these windows. Again, you might have people even camping out, you know, waiting here, seeing if people are trying to complete the quest. Just because that door is closed doesn't mean there's nobody up here. And I would really advise caution looting up here, especially this computer and this computer. You're super wide open, so take a peek there. And then once you're done with that, you can come down on your way to the other side here. You can take a peek in this room. Check these tables, lots of food, and then there's some rare spawns that you can get, like gold chains, chainlets, some miscellaneous, like smaller single slot items that you can sell for a decent amount. And then once you've done that, you just take the staircase down. And follow this back around. Nakatani exits over there. Extract with your loot. Call it a day. Easy. You know, took us a few minutes. Make that run. Get a GPU, great. If you don't, You still made plenty of money doing that. Alright, now I'm going to move to the other spawn point that you're likely to get, and we'll talk about that one. Alright, here we are near the other spawn point. I don't remember exactly where it drops you in, but I think it's right about here. And again, there are more than these two player scav spawn points on the map. Like, for example, on the other side of there, across from the parking garage, there's another spawn. But it's almost always this one at Emercom or the other one at Nakatani that I seem to get. And like I said, I've been doing this scav run. This is my third wipe doing it now. So if you spawn here, again, check your inventory. Make sure you didn't spawn with anything super valuable. Your Emercom extract is right here. And just like Nakatani, every time you'll spawn in as a scav on a ground zero scav run, you will have Emercom as an extract option. So if you have something great and you just want to get out, get the money, get out and get the scav rep, you can just walk right over there, get your extract. Now, the downside of that is there's a few bodies that you are not going to be able to loot. And stuff that spawns on that table you might have time to do, but you're just not going to really have access to a lot of that loot because you'll be extracting instead of being able to loot it. So check here, you might get a med bag here, a med bag there, and then, you know, obviously whatever spawns in here doesn't look like much has this raid. You got a body here, like, again, good loot tables, you never know what you might find. Armor, helmets, let's just see what's in there for fun. Armor, helmets, guns, pretty much anything that you might want to use. Doesn't look like there's anything exciting on this guy, but you never know. At the very least, you can sell it. If it's early wipe, you need your meds, you need your saluas, you know, give it a look. And then you can come over this way. And this one's pretty safe. If you go over that way to the parking garage, that's always a hot spot. You have a bunch of quests there. So I wouldn't advise going that way. I go this way. Again, you have another body right here. You can loot that. You might get a duffel bag here. Run down these stairs so you can get a duffel bag spawning on these ledges. You know, stuff spawns on these benches. And check this little corner up here, see if a bag spawned. And then I climb up this window. And you can get stuff, I can get up here. You can get stuff spawning on all these tables. Again, duffel bags. There's a pink suitcase that'll spawn here sometimes. You have this civilian body here. Duffel bags can spawn on this. Like you can see, stuff spawns on this table. Search back here. Pink suitcases, duffel bags, the usual. And then you kind of have another decision to make. So this area is usually pretty safe. If you really want to, you see duffel bag here. Really want to, and if you need like tool type stuff, you can come back this way. I don't usually do it, but you've got a couple toolboxes you can search if you want to look in that hallway. And if you're feeling a little bit riskier and you decide not to go back with whatever loot that you have, you can come out this way and it opens up another large area of loot. Again, kind of check this area. And this is another spot where you can kind of see if somebody's in the area. This spawn's closed. So if it's open, somebody's been in the area. We've got a couple bodies up here that you can search, and then, you know, if you stay low, you're fairly safe. You're going to look out for people over there. There's a PMC spawn in that corner. So the likelihood of somebody being in this area, especially because you've got a transition to streets right there, as well as the Mira Avenue exit down there. So your likelihood of people being in this area is a little bit higher. There's a lot more foot traffic. Keep an eye kind of in those tunnels as you're walking by. You might get stuff spawning, like I think a duffel bag can even spawn in the back of that car. And the couple areas that I specifically would look at is this area here. You can get several pink suitcases spawning on these benches, as well as a bunch of different ammo spawns. You might find some decent ammo. See ammo on these benches. Nothing exciting. You've got a supply crate back here. You can even go up there and search. There's some medical bags in that corner. There's some bodies in that corner that you can search. And then kind of a spot that I feel like is super lesser known. You've got a safe right here. Usually there's just money in it, but you might find some valuables. Like, here you go. Again, of course, it's in my offline raid that I'm finding all of these. The golden egg, a lion, a chainlet. That'd be really great money to pull out of here. If you go back here, you've got the toolbox and a couple computers. So another chance at a GPU, even if you're spawning on this side. And then at this point, you've got all your loot. Make your way back up to Emercom. And that's it. That's my, I think, pretty underrated scav run. Like I said, I've been doing this for several wipes. I've had really good success with it. Usually the only times I die is if I get killed by another scav. There's occasionally one kind of in this area. And then I've died a couple times to people camping Emercom, the extract up there. So that's really unfortunate. But, you know, it's Tarkov. What are you going to do? You're going to get Tarkov sometimes. And that's all I have, guys. I really appreciate y'all watching. I hope this was helpful. I think especially for newer players, like I said, I'm a newer player. Learning streets is really intimidating. And if you have a computer to run it, great. Not everybody does. But super new to YouTube, guys. So if y'all have any comments, any tips, anything that, any feedback, leave it down below. And I hope to catch you guys next time.